Oh, you're right, guys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of my channel. Now, I want to actually just talk about what's gone on recently. So, we had Mr. 4K had a microbiologist who come on, and he was talking about certain things that we're not allowed to discuss on here because apparently YouTube's sort of outlook on our conversations, they didn't like it and stuff. So basically, Mr. 4K, he got a strike on his channel. When we had the facts and stuff, because we were talking to this microbiologist, and all he was doing is pointing out the facts, but yet the facts do not actually lie, especially when you've got a microbiologist on the live stream. And he was talking facts into it. Now, I think that YouTube themselves, they don't like the facts, or people, not just YouTube, but the social media side of it, don't like people talking about facts and stuff. And it's to this point where you think to yourself, well, say if we wanted to do a movie review, right? And there's a particular controversial topic in it, right? And now when you, so basically he's cancelled the live streams and all that, the podcasts, because of the strike. Because basically YouTube doesn't actually tells us, they don't tell us what we're allowed to discuss, what we're not allowed to discuss. Apparently we've got to fill in this thing at the top when you upload the video to that point. So basically they should be responsible, really, at the end of the day. YouTube should be responsible. This is why the killing of culture topics, which are like going on now. It's like the cancel culture is starting to dither away. Anyone who's got a topic, anyone's got opinion, it feels like they don't want people to speak out about it for any reason. Now, we were doing like episode 5, got really controversial. Well, I wouldn't say it was controversial, it was facts, based on facts. Now, YouTube, by the looks of it, they don't like facts at all. Or they don't want people talking about facts. But yet we have a YouTuber like Joe Rogan, who's very, very, very controversial, his guest on there, and yet he's still on YouTube some reason. So must be some sort of elite, there must be some sort of elite group on YouTube, which they don't want people to speak out about. And it's like, when you grow your channel over a period of time, I feel like that it just seems to be going for one lot of people and not everybody, like on YouTube. So if YouTube, right, wants to keep their channel or wants to keep their company going, I'm thinking about getting into politics, right? At some point, I might next year or might this year try and get into politics, right? Because then is with this freedom of speech, you're not allowed to talk about anything, any touchy subjects. Because if you talk about any subjects, you could either get a warning, you could get a strike, or you could get your whole channel taken down. And it's really bad. Like that, you can't even have a conversation, regardless, right? It's talking about facts. It's not misleading anything. There's no misinformation there. But when the misinformation gets out and it's to another person who's doing it and they haven't fact checked their information, it's all online. There's loads of information out there to do with it. Then it's strange. It's like the other day when I uploaded that episode 5. And we had that microbiologist friend of mine come on, and he was discussing about it, about what's going on and stuff. He basically was telling us the facts, that he works as a microbiologist, and works in a lab and all this kind of stuff. And then suddenly, when I uploaded that episode, I got a warning off YouTube to say if I was to do another video like this, controversial thing. It's not controversial, actually. It's just putting the facts out, and it's a podcast in the first place, that I would get a strike next time. Now, thing is, they didn't tell us exactly on this podcast of what we're on about, or the rules. They don't even tell you the rules of YouTube. Now, I think that YouTube themselves, I should get into politics, and I should put down, right, I'll get my own, like, party together, and say to them, look, like, if YouTube does not like sort of controversial talks and stuff, or people and that, well, then they should be accountable for their actions of getting rid of the freedom of speech on their platforms. And yes, YouTube, they can do whatever they want. But the thing is, when there's billions of people doing videos on YouTube, and they're actually getting all that money from people, they're making a lot of money off people, off YouTube and stuff. And yet there's certain topics on there, like the Joe Rogan, where he gets really controversial, and yet he's still on there. That's actually one thing for Joe Rogan, and for everybody else, it's totally different. And then it's like when we had, what's it called? This other YouTuber, when he was doing, like, a video, playing video games, and he said something inappropriate. He got, like, quitted from, I think it was Disney. They cut him off. Disney cutting him off. But yet he was still on YouTube. He said something inappropriate that can get a lot of people banned, but because he's the top of the food chain, not on YouTube, he actually still was there. So he still went into it, still got to that point and all that. So it goes to show, like, if you're a big YouTuber, right, you're less likely to get banned. If you're a smaller YouTube channel, it's almost like they're just trying to kill off the smaller channels in that way. But let us know in the comments below, guys and girls, what you guys and girls think about it. Because I think with politics, if I get into politics, I'll put a narrative in there, right? If they don't abide by the freedom of speech to say what you want, and the controversial things, whether it's controversial, whether it's something, some person, say if you're on a podcast and someone says something misleading, right, and then you're trying to put them right, and yet you're still getting a strike for that, right? Yeah, that's pretty bad. That is really pretty bad, because it just goes to show that they're not attending or helping the person, or not realizing what the YouTuber themselves are saying, but they're just going for the facts that the guests are on the show, and just they're the ones it's not taking the responsibility. It's the ones on there instead. But anyway, guys and girls, it is today, 13th today of the 1st. And it is actually Thursday the 13th. So anyway, cheers for watching. And let us know if you think this is right, guys and girls. Stay safe.